Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to give you 3 top tips when it comes to stealing kick drums from other people's tracks. Now remember, the kick drum is the single most important part of your dance track. It's the thing people are actually going to be dancing to. And if you get a good kick, it's going to make your whole track just sound better. But if you have a bad kick, it runs the risk of your entire track just lacking punch and just lacking any kind of sparkle. It's just going to make your whole track sound flat. Now, what I'm about to teach you isn't just some horrible bootlegging technique. It's actually something that a lot of the pros do. Martin Garrix admits himself to stealing the kick drum for his biggest song ever, Animals, from another track. A lot of producers do what I'm about to teach you. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Hey guys, Phil Harris here from EDMcoaching.com. Listen, I've put this YouTube channel together to teach people in their first couple of years amazing tricks and tips to really fast track them to making incredible dance music. So if you are interested and you fit into that category, make sure you go and subscribe to this channel right now. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we're gonna go and get some tracks that you like, that you think have got good punch, good sounding kicks, okay? All you wanna do is just drag them straight into Ableton like this, and just drop them into an audio lane. Once they're in, you've got to come and make sure you turn off warp, okay? You don't want to have warp on. You want it to be exactly as you'd normally hear the track. If you have it on warp, it might try and warp the track to a different BPM, which we're not going to do. So, I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first tip is this. If you're looking for a big room house kick, something to look for is at the beginning of the drop, there's usually a lot of producers just put one kick in. In fact, I've got this song here, Animal. So if I go straight to the actual drop, which let's see if we can just quickly find it. I'm going to solo this track. Right, here it is. So it comes up. Did you hear? There's a kick right here. And this happens in so many big room house tracks. So we can come in, put the cursor here. That's it. So we found it. All you've got to do is create a new lane, so Apple T. So we've got another lane underneath it. And then you can just highlight the kick drum like this and just drag it down onto a new lane like that. Now we're going to go and put this inside our own grid and just solo this track. Let's turn the volume up a little bit. And I'm going to make sure that this is the exact length of a quarter note and loop that. And there you go. That's one way to get the kick out of a big room house track. Let's move on to the second method. So the second method is going to be your most common method, which is just hunting for a part in the track where the kick doesn't have anything on top of it. I've got this track here, Cool Kids, but it's a Jesse Blotch remix. And if you come in, you'll find there's a couple of kicks in here. But they all kind of have stuff on top of them. Listen to this one. It's got that sound on top of it. Now, a couple of tips for you. Right at the beginning of the track, they'll often be quite a stripped back kind of kick drum or maybe an intro drum beat. But often at this point, they've taken a lot of the bass out of the kick, so that's not the type of kick you're going to want to steal. You see, it sounds like it's almost been high pass because it's taken all the low out of it. So you've got to make sure you find a kick that's got a bit of welly to it, which will be in the main part of the track. Now, here's what you want to do. Often go to the end of the track, right, where the track begins to get stripped away, and have a listen. Now, if you listen carefully, in with all of that sound, there was one clean kick drum. There. We found it. So often what you'll find is towards the end of the track, as the track's beginning to get stripped away, or maybe even in the intro you'll find this, you'll be able to hunt for a clean kick drum. So have a listen to this one. Not a clean kick drum. This one, not a clean kick drum. But this one here, we've got one. So once again, Apple T, and again, it's just a case of going through and listening out. I listened before this. I made this video to make it a bit quicker for you guys, but if I just go and select that, drag it down into its own lane, and once again we can do that same thing. So we come in, bring that kick drum right to the beginning of that quarter note like this, just select this like that, hit Apple J so that kick drum is perfect quarter note, then we can go and listen to it by itself. Let's just loop this. And now can you hear there's a little sound at the end of the kick? because there's this little kind of awkward bit here. If you kind of look here, there's this awkward bit. So what you can actually do is bring the audio clip in, grab a fade and just fade off like this. There, now we can go grab that quarter note like that, hit Apple J, and we've got a clean sounding kick drum. Okay, finally guys, let's move on to the third and final tip, which is actually my favorite tip, which is this. If you're struggling to find a clean kick drum, we can actually construct one using someone else's track. So I've got this Patrick Sharp song here, and I can come to the intro and I'm gonna hear that there is a kick drum there, but as I mentioned before, it's been high passed. So here's the kick. There. So I'm just gonna grab this. Now bear with me, because this sound here is just the top kick. It's just the high bit. It doesn't have any of the bass. So I'm just gonna save that on this lane here. And I'm gonna go now hunting for a kick that actually has a bit of bass to it, which will be around this kind of area here. Okay, so we'll come in here. We can hear there's a kick drum there, but it's got a on top of it, so it's not clean. So here's what we can do. We can come in and grab this kick drum here and drag it into its own lane. And what we're gonna do, in fact, let's put this kick drum on a completely separate lane. So I'm gonna duplicate this lane here. I'm gonna go and grab this kick drum here, turn it up a bit. And what we want to essentially do at this point is keep the low end, the boomy bit, but we're gonna high pass any of that sound on top of it. Okay, so let me just go and put this into a quarter note so we can just listen to this on loop as I did a second ago. So this is the best thing to do with a kick drum. Put an EQ on it, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually just have a high pass here, and I'm just gonna bring this down so I can't hear any of that sound on top of it. I've now just got the sub of that kick. And what I'm actually gonna do, which you don't need to do this, but I quite fancy doing it, I'm gonna give it a bit of a boost here. Just a slight boost. Now I'm gonna go back and get that top hat, which is here, and bring it along. Because remember, now we've got just a clean top to the kick and a clean sub of the kick. Put those together, you've got a full kick. It's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solo these two tracks, turn the top kick all the way down and just turn it up over time. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come in here and actually bring this kick sound right in like this. And I'm only going to get a tiny bit of this kick sound. So let me just solo this. Bring the volume up again. Okay, so I've only got a tiny bit of that top kick. Then I'm going to solo the two of them. Nice, I'm going to bring the volume down because I can see the master kind of going into the red here, which I don't want to happen. Maybe bring the top kick down just a tiny bit. And now we've kind of got the basis of a really cool kick. So what I can do now is just create a new lane again, Apple T or Control T, come over here, click resample. And what I'm going to do is hit record here and record these two lanes. So they're soloed off there, press record, hit this record button. And there you go. I've recorded this kick onto its own lane. So now if we listen to that, we've got a really awesome kick that we've basically reconstructed by stealing the key elements from someone else's track. So 3 really awesome ways there for you to pretty much go and steal any kick drum from any song. Hopefully you enjoyed this tip. If you did, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and why not go and watch this incredible video right now of me making a Brazilian bass track. See you in tomorrow's video. Ciao!